Hello Internet, Vinnie D here, and I'm starting a new little show which is completely unscripted. And since I've already used the name Vinnie Rants, I'll call this Vinnie Vince. Because I really just want to take a moment to ramble about things that are on my mind. You know, just random thoughts, and I reserve the right to change my mind at any time. This is going to be a very serious one, and trigger warning, this is going to deal with some big current day issues, including murder and terrorism. Good thing this channel isn't monetized. Most of you have already heard the news that yesterday, at least at the point I'm recording this, Shinzo Abe, the former Prime Minister of Japan, was assassinated by some lone lunatic with a handmade gun. And my heart really goes out to Japan and Shinzo Abe's family. But what I want to talk to you about is what is going on in the world today where people are just doing shit like this. People are just snapping, going off the deep end and doing insane, just horrible things. The official term for this is either a lone wolf actor or also known as a homegrown violent extremist. Now, I want to rewind the clock a bit. In the 2000s, when I was writing Anti-Money, way back in Book 1, do you remember the conclusion of Chapter 5? And the follow-through in Chapter 7? The bridge was blown up by a lone terrorist. One man with an extreme ideology believed he would change the world through a violent act. At the time, our view of terrorism was something very different. We viewed terrorism as large and organized, still feeling the effects of 9/11. We thought terrorist acts were sponsored by distant governments, vast conspiracies, underground organizations, or doomsday cultists. And honestly, I wish I weren't so accurate about the future of terrorism being these lone wolf actors who self-indoctrinated and self-radicalized. Fast forward back to present day, and we're getting things like this. Assassinations, arson, and mass shootings. And I'm not going to get into the political side of that. I really don't want to. What I want to get into is the psychological aspect of it. Why is this happening? What is pushing people to such extremes, and why does it keep happening? And I don't have the whole answer to that. But something I can guess at is maybe when people are excluded from society and pushed to the fringes, when people feel like the world hates them, they come to hate the world too. When people are left alone and cast out of participating in a civil society, they'll reach out to anyone who will speak to them, even if that's the darkest corners of the internet, if that's conspiracy theories and extreme radicalization, and eventually someone's heart just becomes filled up with hatred until they lash out like this. And I'm not saying that personal responsibility isn't a factor here. You can always make the choice to do no harm. You can always choose to live your life and let others live. Ultimately, the individual still has the choice between good and evil. And the world is probably full of those marginalized people who still make the right choice every single day. So, I'm not making an excuse for murderers. All I'm saying is, maybe we should think a little bit more about how we treat people that are different, and maybe extend an open hand to someone who's on the fringes before they go off the deep end. That's my vent. Thank you. Be good.